He cannot be the nominee. Cheney vows to keep fighting against Trump Representative Liz Cheney, our way, who is facing a tough primary against a Trump-endorsed candidate, says that no matter what happens, she will continue to fight to keep former President Donald Trump from being the 2024 Republican presidential nominee. Liz Cheney is vowing behind the scenes that she won't stop fighting Trump over election. Big lie.
We're here in Wyoming where you are facing a really tough primary, in no small part because of the role that you've taken on in the January 6th hearings. Do you expect to lose on August 16th?
No, I don't expect to lose. I'm working hard to earn every single vote. And ultimately, I believe that the people of Wyoming, fundamentally understand how important fidelity to the Constitution is. Understand how important it is that we fight for those fundamental principles on which everything else is based. So,
but if you do lose, what does that say about that belief?
Look, I think that we're in a situation where former President Trump has betrayed the patriotism of millions and millions of people across our country, and many people here in Wyoming. He's lied to them. And it is a really dangerous situation. And what I know to do is to tell the truth and to make sure that people understand the truth about what happened and why it matters so much.
Why do voters here believe Donald Trump?
I think that it's the same thing that you see, for tens of millions of people across the country. It's just consistent lying about what happened, about the election, playing on people's patriotism. And he's so dangerous that, my view is that at the end of the day, if defending the Constitution against the threat that he poses means losing a House seat, then that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I don't intend to lose, but some things are more important than any individual office or political campaign.
So the period August 17th to November of 2024, when it's very possible Donald Trump could be the nominee, the Republican nominee for president of the United States, what is Liz Cheney doing every day during that period?
Look, I'm focused right now on August 16th and on my primary race here. But
surely you've thought about it.
Well, look, I am very focused on my primary race, but again, my work on the January 6th committee, the work that we've been able to do, I think, to help make sure people understand the truth about what happened, that's work that certainly will continue. And I intend to continue to be very involved and engaged, again, no matter what happens in these issues that are so fundamental to, I believe, the survival of our republic.
You've said repeatedly in interviews that you'll make a decision about whether you're going to run for president in 2024 down the line, which makes sense. But the former president, Donald Trump, there's reporting that he could announce in a matter of weeks, he could announce that he's running for president before the midterm elections. How dangerous is it, or how dangerous would it be to have former President Trump out there as the only voice campaigning for the Republican nomination? Would he need someone to stand up and oppose him?
Look, I think that he cannot be our nominee, and he certainly cannot ever be elected president again. And I think that I know that there are many, many Republicans who feel that way all across the country. And, whatever is necessary to make sure that he's not the nominee, and certainly that he's not elected, there are many of us who are going to fight to do everything necessary, because the prospect of him, we know what he'll do. We know what he's willing and capable of, and he did it. And so we can't ever let that happen again.
Do you think there's anyone out there capable of beating Donald Trump for the Republican nomination?
I think so. But I think that it's going to require Republicans to tell the truth. And it's going to require Republicans to stand up and say, no more. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to embrace this lie. We're not going to embrace this very dangerous man. And, I'm hopeful that you will see more Republicans do that. But certainly I intend to be a big part of making sure that we protect the nation from the threat that he poses.
What goes through your mind when you see election deniers get elected to important posts that could influence our next election, like the Arizona Secretary of State, for example?
I don't think anybody should vote for any election denier. And I think that we have to do everything we can to make sure that people who say that, that they will support, Donald Trump, no matter what the electoral count actually is next time, people who have bought into the big lie, that's a toxin to our democratic system. And I don't think anybody should support those people.
How do we stop it if these people get elected?
Well, I think we have to make sure they don't. I think we have to make sure that we come together and form alliances across party lines to make sure that the people that we are electing are not going to unravel the republic. And I think that's going to be a particular issue in 22, and certainly it will be again in 24.
Speaking of that, Democrats spent a whole bunch of money trying to unseat Congressman Peter Meijer of Michigan, who voted to impeach the former president. What do you think of that effort?
I think it was terrible. I think that Peter Meijer was one of 10 of us who stood up, who voted to impeach President Trump, who did it based on facts and evidence. And I think that all of us, again, across party lines, have got to make sure that we are supporting people who believe fundamentally in our democratic system. And so I think that it's inexplicable and wrong for the Democrats to be funding election deniers, particularly against one of the 10 Republicans who so bravely stood up and did the right thing.
Considering your past political career, your family, do you find it to be strange bedfellows to be working with Democrats the way you have on the committee, across party lines? You've encouraged Democrats to vote here in Wyoming for you.
Well, I think there are separate things. I think that certainly when you look at what's happening on the select committee, you look at what's happening in Congress, it is weird. I did not anticipate certainly that, any of the things that have happened since January 6th would happen. I think it's been a really important experience. And I think it's been really important both and mostly because of the work we've been able to do together for the country. And I think it's been an important experience working together. And we talk about the fact that on our committee, we don't have people that are politically grandstanding or trying to score cheap shots, that we're very focused on the substance. And we have vastly different views of many of the issues that the country's facing, but we're allies in terms of the fundamental constitutional issues. And here in Wyoming, we have same-day registration. It is the right of people to register whatever party they want to register as. And my message is one for all Wyomingites. I represent every single person in this state. And I believe that there are thousands and thousands of people across our state who fundamentally understand why it's so important to have somebody who's going to abide by her oath of office.
They might be Democrats who would vote for a Cheney.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable. You said in your Reagan Library speech, men are running the world and it's really not going all that well. Do you think voters here in the U.S. are ready for a woman to run things?
Sure. Look, I think that one of the things that has been very moving for me over the course of the last year and a half has been the reaction of women, and not just the women who've testified, although we've seen the incredible bravery of people like Cassidy Hutchinson and Sarah Matthews and Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss and Caroline Edwards. It takes real bravery to stand up and tell the truth, as those women have, and I think that's been really important.
Based on that, you think your father, does Dick Cheney, want Liz Cheney to run for president in 2024?
Dick Cheney is a big Liz Cheney supporter. I say that.
Is he encouraging you to run?
Listen, I talk to him every day about many things, and certainly, his concern. Look, like I am right now, he's really focused on this moment and on what's happening, and on both of us have just this real sadness, frankly, about what's happening to our party. And a real despair about how could it be that so many Republicans would refuse to stand up and tell the truth. And it's a scary moment for the nation.
I would just like the record to reflect that you did not say that Dick Cheney is not telling you to run for president in 2024. Liz Cheney, thank you very much.
Thank you,
I really
Casey.
appreciate your
Great
time.
to be with you. Thank you.